Perfect Fit Closets. Using the 2020 design program at 2020space.com, let's use the Perfect Fit Closet catalog, and we're going to discuss on how to add doors and windows. We'll be talking about our basic door, the basic windows, and openings and obstacles wizard. I have my 2020 platform ready to go. And let's create a room. So I'm going to click on the room layout tab, and let's click going clockwise, and let's create a room. Let's make a box 100 inches by 100 inches, 100 inches, and another 100 inches. So I've got a perfectly square box, 100 inches on each side. Now let's go ahead and create a door. We can create a door using the top view or elevation view. Let's go ahead and create an elevation view for all four. So I'm going to double click this placement zone here. That'll be my elevation 1. I'm going to double click the next wall, which will be elevation 2, elevation 3, and elevation 4. On elevation 1, I can again use the top view or the elevation view. We'll do the elevation view for elevation 1. I'm going to click on the room layout tab, and I have here in the drawings, I have basic door, basic windows, and openings and obstacles. If you want to put a simple door, I'm going to left click the basic door. My mouse pointer has now changed to a plus. I'm going to left click anywhere in the elevation, left click once. Now that I've clicked that on, another dialog box appears. I'm going to right click the illustration so I can see a bit better. Please note the width takes an account from outside frame to outside frame. When you're doing your final measure, instead of getting the inside opening, we want the farthest outside to outside. If there is a molding around the door, a door molding, you're going to be measuring from the outside molding to the outside molding as your width. Door hinging, we can have it left or right. We can always change it. Just leave it at left or right for the time being, and we can certainly change this when we drop it in. We can left click OK, and now I've got my door. So I can just drop my door anywhere I'd like, and now I can see that it's not really fully complete. If I hover over the top view, I can see the hinges. I can cycle left hinge, I can cycle a right hinge. If I keep moving my mouse, I can have it on the outside portion, left or right as well. So we can drop it like so. Now we have a left hinge. And again, I can actually go to the top view or elevation view. I can do a number of different things. I can right click on the door, and I can resize the width. Default width is 30 inches, and I can widen the door. And I can give it the exact opening by typing it in here. If the outside molding to outside molding is 30 inches, I can type in 30, hit enter. And if I get my line-to-line annotations, it is exactly 30 inches from molding to molding. I can then go and drag the door and place it where it's desired. So let's just say that I want it 3 inches from the wall to the right. And then I can grab my line-to-line schematics and figure out the exact placement of where this needs to go. The basic door is just a basic door. There's nothing to it. If you want an opening, this is where I would lay it out. Let's go to elevation 2. So we're going to talk about this wall right here. And now let's type in the basic window. I'm still in the room layout tab, and the next selection is basic window. I can left click basic window. I've got a plus for my mouse. I'm going to hover over to the elevation view, and I'm going to left click anywhere inside the elevation. A new dialog box appears. I can right click the illustration so I can see the illustrated lines. Height. We can set the height to what we desire. Let's make this one 30 inches. And again, we are going from outside molding to outside molding for our obstacle value. I can select OK for the height for 30 inches. So once I've got my height of 30 inches, I can left click and drop it wherever I'd like. And now it's asking me what width I'd like it to be. I can resize it manually using my mouse, or I can hover over the placement zone and tell the program how wide I'd like it to be. So let's make a 30 by 30 inch window. Hit enter, and now I've got a 30 by 30 inch wide opening. And again, I can now right click the window, left click drag it and place it to wherever I'd like. And the same thing, I can right click, click up and down and find the exact placement of where this needs to be. Let's go to elevation 3. So we're going to work on this back wall. On this back wall, let's show you how to use obstacles, openings and obstacles. I'm going to left click openings and obstacles, and this gives me the room wizard section. This is where you can add French doors, decorative doors, different types of doors, inside door, outside door, as well as windows. Maybe there's a wall cutout. Maybe you have a French window. Maybe you have a stained glass window. So let's take care of that. First, let's take care of doors. In this wizard, we can double click on our doors. When we double click our doors, we see here we have an interior door, entry door, commercial door, or door wizard. If I click on the interior door, which is most likely going to happen for our closets, I'm going to double click interior doors. I can click a doorway, single interior doors, double bifold doors, pocket doors, and so forth. If we click on doorway, I can double click again, and now it says doorway with a frame, doorway without a frame. So let's try doorway with a frame. I can now click on place and left click anywhere in the elevation to drop it in. Now I've got a door, and again, I'm going to choose the width. I can always close this and right click. I can now resize the width, or if I want more specific attributes, I can left click on my attributes, and here I can then change the actual width and height as an example. So there's no door, it's just simply a doorway. Let's try a different door. Again, room layout tab, openings and obstacles. I left click on doors, interior doors. So we tried the doorway. Let's try the single interior doors. We'll double click, and we can see the selection here. We have different types of door. We have a panel shaker. We have 4-panel shaker, 2 square panel raised. Let's try something very funky here. Let's try 6-panel raised. Select, left click on place, left click in the elevation view. Window pops up, and now we have a 6-panel raised doorway. We can then click on OK. And again, we can drop it, resize the width. And again, we can always go into attributes. So do play around with this tab here. We can go back to doors, interior doors. There's all different types of doors that you can certainly add depending on your design. Let's choose the next elevation. Same thing for windows. We can click on the room layout tab, go to openings and obstacles, and now we can go down to windows. Windows, we can say PVC white or wood. We can click on PVC white. And now we have an awning window, casement window, awning and casement window. We have a hung window. Let's try an architectural window. We have a square, dome, half circle. Let's try an oval, for example. Oval with PVC white. We'll click on place. Left click to drop it into the elevation. We'll wait till it programs it. And now we have a circular window. So 2020 is very versatile. It's got all sorts of different things that you can do in the different types of windows. You can heighten it, shorten it, whatever you'd like to do. What's really cool about adding windows to your design, if it does apply, it adds natural lighting to your render. So here's my perspective view. I've got a couple doors that we just did there, but you can see that the light is actually passing through each of the windows. So I always suggest, if you ever are working on a closet or pantry or a room, always add windows if it does apply, and will add natural lighting to the actual render itself. Now that we have our square 100 inches by 100 inch room, let's talk about irregular rooms. Now, sometimes you'll have a wall that is 100 inches, and sometimes you'll have the opposite wall at 99 inches or 98 inches or even 101, 102 inches. So it's not a perfectly straight wall, which is typically the case. So a question that we get asked often is, how do we now change our room size? Because we know that it's not going to work. This is how to combat rooms that are not perfectly square, and this is what I actually recommend doing. Instead of adding a door, we're going to subtract the door from the actual wall itself. Now, I'm going to just delete these walls or these doors and show you. So now I only have one door located on the bottom left on elevation 1. So we're going to make the exact same thing, but instead, I'm going to make a gap right here. I'm going to click on the continuous wall. We're going to go 100 inches this way. We're going to go 100 inches to the right. And let's say we want to go 99 inches bottom. And let's say that we want this to be 70 inches because we have a door in place. Let escape. We can see from this figure 2, we have the 100-inch wall, 100-inch wall here, exactly the same. And now we have 99 inches on the wall to the right and 70 inches on the bottom because we're subtracting it because of the actual door. With this method, I don't have to use the door wizard. I can still use the window wizard, but now I can actually right-click on these walls, and I can certainly change the actual length. You can see that I have easily changed the length of 1 because I have that opening here. This holds especially true for most designs and most rooms because you're not going to get a perfectly square room. In that case, this is what I recommend highly. You can certainly add a door, but then you won't be able to change the actual dimensions. Here, you can certainly change the dimensions of the walls, especially if it's off by 1/16 of an inch. Okay. And then just add your windows either in the basic window or underneath openings and obstacles. So this is the faster way to do it, and this is what we recommend. If you have any questions regarding adding doors and windows, please do contact us at support@perfectfitcanada.com.